Well, why should we study the book of Isaiah? We're coming to a close on the book of Isaiah, but I think it's important for you to realize how important it is to study the book of Isaiah. It is the third largest prophetic book. The first prophetic book is Jeremiah with 43,501 words. The second prophetic book is 38,982 words, and that's the book of Ezekiel. And then, of course, we have Isaiah with 37,407 words, and Daniel at 11,608 words. The book of Revelation just slightly ahead of Daniel with 11,852 words. 952 words, excuse me. So, more prophetic words than the book of Revelation, more than the book of Daniel, and we have it the third largest. Now, if that's not significant enough for you, then I would recommend you Google prophecy. And you'll find that there are several different references on prophecy of the Messiah. One particular reference that I looked at had 44 Old Testament references to the Messiah. 11 of those were from Isaiah. I looked at another one that had 21 fulfilled prophecies in the New Testament. 7 of the 21 were in the book of Isaiah. As a matter of fact, quoted in the New Testament, there are 7 references to Isaiah. 13 out of 55 reference Isaiah in the New Testament. There's just an ongoing list of all of the importance from the New Testament as well as from the Old Testament of the book of Isaiah. Many commentaries, people who have written commentaries, skip right over Isaiah just because it's so difficult, because it's hard to understand what are current events, what are near-term events, what are far-term events, which ones refer to the Messiah, which one refers to the kingdom to come rather than the existing situation in Israel. Yeah, the book of Isaiah is hard, but don't forget, God inspired it, breathed every word of it, and there's a significant amount of information that we can gather from it. Perhaps to me, one of the things that I'm impressed with about Isaiah is the fact that it stresses for 35 chapters the judgment of God. I wonder, pastors, lay people, Sunday school teachers, how often do you stress the judgment of God? Or do you only stress the mercy, the grace, and the forgiveness of God? I think it's a very disservice to all of those that are learning about the scriptures to forget that God has 2 natures. The one we love to talk about is mercy, grace, and forgiveness. The one that we very seldom talk about is judgment, condemnation, wrath of God. Yes, it's true, God doesn't wish any to perish. But it's also true that those that ignore him, refuse and reject him, are facing a terrible consequence. Yes, there's a literal heaven and there's a literal hell. And we need to be sure that we study all of God's word. And preachers and teachers, we need to be sure we teach all of God's word. So I would recommend that you take one more look at chapter 65 and chapter 66. Tomorrow I'm going to close the study on this book. But my friends, you shouldn't close the study on the book. You should continue to take a look at what God has to say to you through the book of Isaiah. That's my thought for the day. God bless you. Have a great day.